thinking about moving to Coral Gables, Florida? Well, if you are, you should know that Coral Gables is one of Miami-Dade's most popular neighborhoods. And there are so many reasons why. Coral Gables is very popular because of its location. It's a very good location to a lot of the attractions around the city. Coral Gables has a lot of offerings in terms of single-family homes with many different price points. It also has beautiful green spaces, beautiful trees, old trees that line the roads. The landscaping is incredible. It also has amazing shops and restaurants and salons and just something to offer everyone. Coral Gables is super popular, and in today's video I'm going to show you some beautiful drone shots of Coral Gables. I'm also going to go over some price points and just give you some interesting details that I think that you'll find very helpful if you're thinking about moving to Coral Gables. Make sure that you stick around until the very end, because I'm going to give you a couple of tips that you need to know about if you are thinking about buying real estate in Coral Gables. And I'm going to get started now. Hey everyone, my name is Jamey Prezzi. I'm a real estate agent in Miami-Dade and Broward counties, and I work with my husband Ognjen Prezzi and our team. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button so you never miss another update. We do put out new videos every week. Also, use the information in the description box and be sure to reach out to us. You can call us, text us, email, whatever works best for you is fine by us. We get calls every single day from people just like you who are thinking about moving into our area and who are also interested in buying real estate in Coral Gables. So whether you're interested in buying next week or the next 90 days or the next 6 months, we're here to be a resource for you and we'll be happy to chat. All right, let's get started. Whenever I'm talking about a neighborhood, I always like to show a map. I think it's a really good idea to see where neighborhoods are located. And I think it's one of the most important things that people should do when they're thinking about searching for real estate in a very specific neighborhood. For instance, a lot of people, they do work in downtown Miami and Brickell, or maybe some people work in Miami Beach or Coral Gables. So if you're thinking about living in Broward and you have to drive into these areas every day, you definitely need to do that drive during rush hour to make sure that it fits your lifestyle and that's okay for you. Vice versa, if you live in Miami-Dade and you have to drive into Broward every day, does that make sense for you and your lifestyle? There are many, many people who do this. There are a lot of commuters back and forth between Miami-Dade and Broward counties. This is why we work in both Miami-Dade and Broward counties. But I just think it's very important to make sure, as you are searching for real estate, can you do that drive during rush hour? You know, the weekends, the traffic obviously is a little bit less hectic. But for instance, Miami Beach, you know, has been very busy lately. And if you live on Miami Beach and you have to commute into any of these areas, you have to take into consideration that you have to use these bridges to get back and forth. And these bridges can become very congested during high season and when there are big events throughout the year, and just general rush hour traffic every day. That's the most important thing, I think, when you're thinking about moving here and you're trying to get an idea about where you want to live. We have a lot of traffic. So I'm not a traffic person, so I always emphasize that. It's very, very important for us and our family not to deal with a lot of traffic every day. So if you are the same way, you will appreciate that. If you don't care, you don't care. You can skip over this. Okay. So Coral Gables is really popular because there are a lot of single family homes in Coral Gables. There are many different price points. The closer you get to the water, those properties become more of a luxury type of property, and they do become more expensive. For instance, in Gables Estates, Cocoplum, a lot of those higher end properties, they are in Coral Gables. And so you'll find very big ticket properties in Coral Gables, as well as some of the starter price points. And I think that's what makes Coral Gables really popular, because there's a lot of different types of real estate. There's townhomes, condominiums, and also a lot of single family homes. This map honestly doesn't really do Coral Gables justice to show you the whole area, but if you Google search Coral Gables, you can see how long Coral Gables is and how far east to west it goes. I just wanted to show you this map because I want to show you its proximity to some other areas and why people like this area. So This is Brickell in downtown Miami, Miami Beach. And this is Hollywood. Hollywood is just a little bit south of Fort Lauderdale, and the airport is up in this area. And then also we have Miami International Airport, Doral, and then Hialeah. Look up here, Pembroke Pines and Miramar. And so we'll head up into the Broward area from Coral Gables here. So you'll see its proximity to some other of the popular areas. Obviously, if you want to get to Brickell in downtown, 15 to 20-minute drive, depending on what time of day you're going there. But there are only so many ways in and out from Coral Gables to downtown and Brickell. So during rush hour, it does get very busy. And to get onto the beach, 25, 30-minute drive, depending on the time of day. Always build an extra time for a lot of the traffic. This is a quick snapshot of sold properties in Coral Gables, single family homes over the last 6 months. There were 121 properties that sold. The median property that sold was a 4-bedroom, 3-bath property for $1.6 million. The average, a 4-bedroom, 3-bath for $2.9 million. The maximum, the highest sold property over the last 6 months was $31.75 million. And the lowest was a 2-bedroom property for $650,000. It really depends on the location of these properties, the type of property, the age. As we always say, it's always about location, condition, and that will really determine the price of the property that you'll purchase in Coral Gables. But their property price points, they vary greatly depending on a lot of very detailed factors that go into property pricing. Let's dive a little deeper into some more specific pricing based on the location of these properties. And let's first start around the Biltmore Hotel. A Biltmore Hotel is an iconic landmark in Miami-Dade, and more specifically in Coral Gables. It's just minutes from downtown Coral Gables, and it's really known for its amazing event space, its pool area. It has beautiful brunches, and there's a beautiful golf course there as well. It's very famous. And this is the Biltmore Hotel location. It's between 57th Avenue, Granada, Bird Road, Sevilla Avenue. It's about a 5-minute drive to Coral Gables downtown, and you can walk to the Venetian pool from the Biltmore Hotel location. Okay. Now, in this area, there's mostly single family homes, and the average single family home that sold around the Biltmore Hotel was a 4-bedroom, 3-bath property, 2,800 square feet for $2 million. There was a high of $5 million and a smaller 2-bedroom, 2-bath property for $1.15 million. Another neighborhood that's super popular in Coral Gables is Cocoplum. It's just minutes from Coconut Grove. It's east of Old Cutler Road, and it is gorgeous. Cocoplum is made up of 300 waterfront and non-waterfront homes. It is in Coral Gables, and it's situated right along Biscayne Bay. It's a gated community. I wanted to show you this area because this is one of the areas that has waterfront properties in Coral Gables. The average property that recently sold there was a 5-bedroom, 5-bath property for 5,000 square feet at $4 million. Let's head back to downtown Coral Gables, and I can give you some information about the pricing there for condominiums. This is downtown Coral Gables, and Coral Gables has a beautiful street called Miracle Mile, and off of Miracle Mile are a lot of shopping and restaurants, and just a lot of different offices, and also some condominium buildings along this area as well. It's sort of a live-work area of Coral Gables, and it's very beautiful. Coral Gables has beautiful architecture, award-winning restaurants, and downtown Coral Gables is really a hot spot for tourists and locals. People really like this area. In this little snapshot, I just like to give an idea because I was talking about downtown Coral Gables and the condominiums there. So if you look here, this is just a real quick circle of downtown condominium pricing for properties that have recently sold. The average condominium that sold was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condominium around 1,300 square feet for $719,000. The median was $542,000. The minimum, there was one studio that sold for $215,000 and another property that sold for $4 million. Now for the bonus tip. One thing that's really important to know about when you're purchasing property in Coral Gables is that if you're buying a single family home, there is a good chance that that property has a septic tank. Not all properties in Coral Gables have septic tanks, but a lot of them do. I don't think that there's such a big scary thing. Sometimes people, I think they've heard stories of bad septic tank situations, but overall, I have a lot of clients who have properties on septic tanks and they're not that big of a deal. You just need to make sure that you maintain them. They can be a little bit expensive to replace if there's some reason that it needs to be replaced. There's also drain fields involved in replacing septic tanks. So there's a lot of nuances digging up the tank and things like this. But overall, it's just another major system on the property that needs to be well maintained and taken care of over the years. If you're buying a property that has a septic tank, I would definitely recommend that you have a company that specializes in that. A general home inspector is not going to inspect the septic tank, so know that. But I would definitely make sure that you hire a company to come out, open the lid, see what's inside, clean it so they can see the walls all the way down to the bottom. It's called pump and dump. And they look and see what's inside that septic tank and inspect the condition of the actual tank to see if there's any cracks or anything like that. But definitely make sure if you're buying a house in Coral Gables that you are aware that some properties have septic tanks. And if there is one, you will definitely want to get it inspected during your inspection period. Another thing that sometimes comes up, and that sometimes sellers don't even know they have a septic tank. Maybe, I don't know, it's happened, but I would always double check, especially if you're buying a property there, and make sure that if they say there's not one, make sure there's really not one. Okay, I think that's it. I hope you found this helpful. We are always here to be a resource for you. Again, my name is Jamey Prezzi. This is my husband, Ognjen Prezzi. You can find us online on Instagram at the Prezzis. Reach out to us using the information in the description box. Okay, we'll see you soon.